So David Stark from Ground Up Ventures, he's open sourced his OpenClaw instance, including the licenses for fund managers to be able to improve and work in their VC workflow. So he's connected all of his toolkits, his HubSpot, WhatsApp, LinkedIn, all of his messaging and servicing and back office toolkits to enable him to manage better deal flow, meetings, due diligence, reporting. I thought we've seen a number of people in our industry automating and using these incredible AI toolkits. I thought it was super cool that he's open sourced all of this. Lomax, would you use it? Where are you at? Because we spoke a few weeks ago and neither of us were super up on the AI toolkits, but would you would you use it?
So why don't we do this? Because I think the thing is, I think if you're a venture firm now, and well, first of all, if you're a venture firm now and you're not using some form of AI in your business somewhere, then I think you're probably going to be out of business in the next few years, right? As a start.
Any firm, I would remove the word or
Now,
the
then
letters
I think you
VC
have,
in that.
but now, unlike a few years ago, right? So if you wanted to do this 5-6 years ago, you basically had to, unless you were technical yourself, you had to, or even then you probably didn't have the time if you were running the firm. You could do what EQT did, which is they started to build this thing called the Mother Brain, which they were using predominantly for sourcing. Now that became, I don't know actually how well that's worked for them, but if you were doing that 5-6 years ago, that was a very, very, very expensive build, right? Like writing any code years ago, like a few years ago. And so a lot of venture firms couldn't do it. It was prohibitively expensive. You could be spending 10, 15K a month on this, right? Which for a small venture firm would be a lot of money, right? If you're running a pre-seed seed fund. Now, there's two things that have happened. You've either got off-the-shelf tools built by, Harmonic, Spectre. There's tons of these companies now. That's mainly for sourcing, or you can obviously start to do it yourself with natural language prompts, with Claude Code, with OpenClaw, etc. And so that's a really, really exciting time to be running a small venture firm with a very, very limited budget. Like anyone running a small business now, there's really cool, exciting things that you can do, and you intimately know your own processes, so you can start to work out what you can automate. But the thing is, every single firm runs in a different way, and it depends on whether you're, pre-seed or seed or Series A and Series B, and also how big is your team. Like in my case, it's me and my investment partner Rod. We're two of us. We don't need to have a lot of like institutional kind of knowledge and processes, because we don't need to share information. Once I've shared the information with him, the job is done. I don't need to go and build a big complex process for me that I can just send him a WhatsApp and be like, are we doing this deal or not? Or should we go and do the referencing now? Now, against that backdrop, so different firms, different needs. Let's have a look at what David Stark at this fund actually did. I don't want to be like patronizing. I call it a bit cute. I think it's nice. I don't know whether I would use all of this stuff, to be honest. So first, 10 minutes before every meeting, a WhatsApp message arrives with full context on the participants from HubSpot, LinkedIn, and Crunchbase. That's pretty cute. That's quite nice, fine. I mean, you could just sit down 10 minutes before and just do the Googling yourself. Or what I do now is put all the information into an LLM. Second, the bot joins Google Meetings on its own, records them, extracts action items using Claude, and sends a summary by email. Okay, fine, nice. A new email with a deal comes in. There's a sort of process to get that into your HubSpot. That's pretty helpful if you're having a lot of inbound deal flow. And then they've open sourced this now. So those are some quite nice kind of features, I would say. And I think lots of firms have sort of built a variation of that themselves, and or you can buy those on the open market, right? I think it's necessary. For me, the most important thing as an early stage investor is seeing deals and winning deals, right? And winning deals is really a personal thing. I don't.
Unless you're Andreessen or Sequoia or
Yeah, it's
Index or whatever.
brand, but I sort of put brand and personal into the same thing. It's like what you stand for, right? Funny enough, I actually did see a VC firm the other day that's built a product using AI that their founders can use for lead gen for new customers. So they actually, so that's actually pretty cool. That's an example of a firm trying to win a deal, using, using a tool they've built with AI.
Creating value, being
Yeah, but
value
actually,
add.
I mean, yes, and is a friend of mine, but I went through it with him, and actually, they do win deals as a result of it because they do deliver value off the back of that. But further towards origination, sourcing is like that's the kind of key. And this chap here, David Stark, didn't really talk about that. If I can either build, we're working on stuff here at Outsized, and or you can buy these things off the shelf to pick up signals for founders before they've even started companies, right?
But that's hygiene now, Lomax. It's already hygiene. This is the challenge that I have with this. If everyone has access to everyone and everyone's
No, I know. And
spamming
my big
everyone,
question,
it's like
so
this is
many people have a software license from one of these companies, right? So we talked about them just now. It's like, well, I sort of said to people, like, yeah, the moment someone puts up stealth on their LinkedIn or sends up another signal,
yeah, you get
they get,
scoured. You get
they get
scraped the hell out
bombarded.
of, yeah.
But I still think, Dan, there are ways to get that kind of information asymmetry like down and actually meet they're not even founders at that point. They're just individuals who might be in a position to start a company, right? I think that's very possible. And maybe Harmonic have not covered that yet, for example.
Yeah. They're pretty good. I mean, we've used all of them. We're a Harmonic
Okay.
customer at
Have
the
you done many
moment, and they're
deals
pretty
using
good. I
Harmonic?
mean, yeah, we've done
Okay.
2. So I just think we are now already in a world where all of the VCs using these AI toolkits. There's one bit which is the back office, which I
Yeah,
think let's just
fine.
automate and get really slick at running back office. Anything that is forward facing and automatically pinging founders that are in stealth mode on LinkedIn, a connection request and an email. Maybe there's value
I
in
don't
that.
think so.
I just feel
I
like
don't
it's
think you
going to
get like
be
as you know, I don't think you get alpha by doing what all the other VCs are doing. And if all the other VCs are taking
how,
licenses on Harmonic.
but isn't it hygiene though? Isn't it something that
No,
you
no,
have
sorry,
to
but
do,
that's
but
different. There's
you
a difference
must ignore,
between
but you have to
hygiene
do?
and alpha. Hygiene is just like,
Yeah, yeah,
sort
yeah.
of table stakes staying alive as a venture manager and having an answer for an LP when they ask you. But alpha is like, am I actually delivering alpha? Am I delivering top decile returns? So I think, yes, it's now probably table stakes and necessary to have some kind of AI in your sourcing of founders as a venture firm. And if you
Yeah,
don't have a
yeah.
question answer for that to an LP, then you have an issue. But I don't think by taking a subscription for these off the shelf Harmonic, Spectre, whatever products, I just don't think that's how you get alpha, right? So
I'll try
mm,
and touch on both points. 'Cause I think the first point that Lomax touched about calling the things cute is that a lot of the work that talked about is workflow automation.
yes,
And many
yeah,
of us, again, so I've been using Zapier and I've had a lot of great zaps which do exactly that. We have a call, the call gets transcribed automatically. The call then gets uploaded to the CRM in the right place, all the notes, boom, go into the CRM. And then if we're a bigger team, can we create other things into Slack? Sure. Again, I can program. I didn't need to program almost anything. Zapier is incredible in doing what it does. So that is more internal efficiency. I think what the AI does is probably makes us a lot more efficient and able to process a lot more deals. If you think about our work as sourcing, picking, winning, I think the sourcing becomes table stake. And maybe the picking, maybe we can review more companies. I think and remember, an alpha is a constant, the alpha isn't fixed. Whoever was using those signals 4 years ago, 5 years ago, first time I saw Spectre was 5 years ago,
yeah.
probably had alpha for a few months or for a few years, right? While they were using those tools. And so I think if you want to be on the efficient frontier of the alpha, then you have to have an agent, right, running on OpenClaw or whatever platform you're developing that thinks and does those things for you, right? That agent develops its own tools, its own heuristics to find those founders, approach them.
That's an interesting layer, AL. So you're saying just come up, come up a layer and sit on top and let it work itself out.
Yeah, and which is I think the advanced people who are now working on the efficient frontier of these things is having an army or small army of Claude bots or OpenClaw as it's called right now, taking out pieces of our work and delivering it to them. Now we can then talk about the juniors not having an entry point in an industry, but really that is what it is, right? Suddenly you can, as Dan or as Lomax, have 20 more associates doing the work for the cost of one
But
associate.
isn't the entry point for those analysts and or associates to then be the manager of the toolkits?
Maybe, possibly.
I'm to be honest,
I think
guys,
it's lovely
I
you did it.
don't. All of this is great. but it doesn't help me with the hardest thing that I have at pre-seed, which is getting into deals. Like it's
Is it? Is it not meeting? So meeting the founders isn't the challenge for you.
I can always meet more
I always
exceptional
fear that we're missing
founders,
deals.
but like
Okay.
actually, it's a competitive world out there, right? And getting into really, really good deals can be very, very hard. And AI is not going to help you with that. Stop turning this call off and getting on a plane to get in front of the person or sending them 5 customers. It can.
But you have to find them first, right?
Okay, yes, yes. But
I guess Lomax's point is if sourcing becomes table stake and all of the founders are exposed to you, how do you win them, right? You either win them by brand or by other kind of magic.
niche.
And that is Lomax's challenge.